The movie begins with a mysterious enemy known as the Hammer of Borivian emerged and managed to defeat Superman in a fight. Wounded, Superman crashes in the Arctic and calls for Krypto the Superdog, who pulls him to the Fortress of Solitude. There, robots place Superman under direct sunlight to help restore his strength and play a recorded message from his biological parents, Jor-El and Lara. Once partially recovered, Superman returns to Metropolis to confront the Hammer again, revealed to be Ultraman, who is under the control of the villainous billionaire Lex Luthor. Despite Superman's efforts, Ultraman overwhelms him in battle. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor meets with Argus officials, including Rick Flag Sr., to discuss the political fallout of Superman's actions in Borivian, a U.S. ally. Luthor resents Superman, believing he makes ordinary humans obsolete. Clark Kent goes about his day at the Daily Planet, working alongside colleagues Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. He notices the media coverage criticizing Superman's recent involvement in the Borivian conflict. President Vasil Vorkos publicly condemns Superman for interfering with his nation's military operations. That evening, Clark is at Lois's apartment making dinner. Since they've been in a relationship and she knows his true identity, he offers to let her interview him as Superman, but the conversation turns tense. Lois confronts him about interfering in global affairs, arguing he should have stayed out of it. Clark stands by his decision, insisting he had to act to save innocent lives. Lois, conflicted, suggests they take some time apart. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor travels to Antarctica, accompanied by Ultraman and his enforcer Angela Spica, also known as the Engineer, whose body is enhanced with nanotechnology, allowing her to create any weapon she envisions. They invade the Fortress of Solitude, abduct Krypto the Superdog, and the Engineer hacks into its systems. During the breach, she discovers a hidden part of a recorded message from Jor-El and Lara, information even Clark had never seen. Back in Metropolis, Luthor unleashes a small creature that mutates into a towering kaiju, causing widespread chaos. Superman arrives and tries to handle the situation peacefully, but he's intercepted by 3 government-backed metahumans, Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl, members of the Justice Gang, a team financed by billionaire Maxwell Lord. Superman urges them to avoid violence, but Mr. Terrific detonates bombs inside the creature, killing it from within, much to Superman's disapproval. Though the city cheers their safety, a breaking news alert flashes across every screen. Luthor has leaked the full holographic message from the Fortress of Solitude, translated and broadcast worldwide. In a shocking twist, Jor-El and Lara are heard stating that Kal-El was sent to Earth to conquer it. The public, feeling betrayed, quickly turns on Superman, branding him a global threat. Shaken by the revelation that his birth parents intended for him to conquer Earth, Superman becomes disillusioned. He steps back from his heroic duties, leaving the Justice Gang to handle threats, such as battling a mischievous intergalactic imp, while he has a heartfelt conversation with Lois about his uncertain future. Public opinion turns against him even further, with figures like Peacemaker publicly denouncing him in the media. Meanwhile, Superman discovers that Krypto has been taken. When he confronts Lex Luthor, the billionaire flatly denies having the dog. Feeling defeated, Superman voluntarily turns himself over to the U.S. government. Rick Flag delivers him to Luthor, who traps him inside a pocket dimension, a custom-built prison where Luthor keeps various enemies, including a former girlfriend. In this realm, Superman is locked in a cell with a metahuman named Joseph, also known as Metamorpho, whose young son, Baby Joey, is held captive in a nearby cell. Metamorpho has the ability to generate any form of organic matter, and Luthor cruelly forces him to produce kryptonite, leaving Superman severely weakened. Meanwhile, Luthor's girlfriend Eve Teschmacher becomes fed up with his abusive treatment. She secretly contacts Jimmy Olsen at the Daily Planet, hinting at a past fling between them, though Jimmy remains wary of her motives. Eve meets with Jimmy privately, suggesting she may be turning against Luthor. At the same time, Lois Lane seeks help from the Justice Gang to rescue Superman. While most refuse, Mr. Terrific steps up and flies her to Luthor Corp in his hovercraft. Inside the pocket dimension, Luthor brings in an innocent civilian, someone who had helped Superman in his earlier battle with the Hammer, and uses him as a tool of intimidation before killing him in cold blood. The act devastates Superman, especially as Luthor threatens to go after those closest to him next. Deeply disturbed by the loss and Superman's reaction, Metamorpho channels his grief into creating a surge of solar-like energy that revitalizes Superman. Regaining his strength, Superman breaks free, saves baby Joey, and soon finds and rescues Krypto as well. Together, they battle Luthor's guards, but during the chaos, the prison dimension begins to collapse, threatening to pull everyone into a forming black hole. Lois and Mr. Terrific infiltrate Luthor Corp after Terrific takes down several of Luthor's guards. They locate the portal to the pocket dimension, though Terrific warns that repeated openings of the portal could lead to dangerous consequences. Inside, they reunite with Superman, Metamorpho, Krypto, and baby Joey, and together, they manage to escape just before the portal shuts for good. Lois takes Clark back to Smallville so he can recover at his childhood home with Martha and Jonathan Kent. While there, Clark has a heartfelt conversation with his father, who reminds him that being a hero isn't about power, but about choosing to do what's right, and that those choices are what truly make him Superman. When Luthor learns that Superman escaped, he erupts in fury. After one final insult towards Eve, she sneaks into the server room and contacts Jimmy Olsen, offering to give him everything he needs to bring Luthor down, on the condition that they hang out over the weekend. Jimmy hesitantly agrees. But before Eve can get away, Ultraman finds her and forcibly removes her from the room. She still manages to send files to Jimmy, who is disappointed to see they appeared to just be seductive selfies taken at Luthor Corp. However, when he shows the photos to Lois, she notices something hidden in the background: confidential documents and incriminating files. It becomes clear Eve was secretly collecting evidence against Luthor. Lois takes this intel to Editor-in-Chief Perry White. Along with Jimmy and other Daily Planet staff, they join Terrific aboard his ship, preparing to expose Luthor's crimes to the world. Back at Luthor Corp, Luthor opens the pocket dimension once more to throw Eve inside. But this reckless act destabilizes the dimensional barrier, creating a rift that begins to tear through Metropolis. Meanwhile, Borivian President Gurkos launches a brutal military invasion of Jarhanpur, aiming to crush peaceful protesters. As tanks roll in, children in Jarhanpur raise their flag and cry out for the only one they believe can save them: Superman. As the chaos unfolds, Superman sees the growing crisis in both Metropolis and Jarhanpur. Mr. Terrific urges him to focus on Metropolis first. The rift from the pocket dimension is threatening to consume the entire city. As Superman works to stabilize it, Ultraman appears and ambushes him. It's revealed that Ultraman is actually a clone of Superman, engineered by Lex Luthor with the sole purpose of destroying the original. With his henchmen remotely controlling the Ultraman, Luthor seems to have the upper hand. But Superman signals for Krypto, who charges in and takes out the drone cameras Luthor uses to monitor and guide the clone. With the playing field leveled, Superman fights back. He ultimately tricks Ultraman into the path of a flying bus, hurling him into the black hole. Superman also defeats the engineer, leaving her unconscious but alive. Meanwhile, high above the city, Lois, Jimmy, and the Daily Planet team upload damning evidence tying Luthor to Boravia, revealing his plan to turn part of Jarhanpur into a monarch-controlled nation under his rule. The truth spreads like wildfire. In Jarhanpur, Superman calls in reinforcements: Green Lantern, Metamorpho, and Hawkgirl, to protect innocent lives. Green Lantern uses his ring to dismantle tanks, Metamorpho deploys his powers to stop enemy troops, and Hawkgirl storms Gurkos' palace. She defeats his guards and carries the dictator out a window. Gurkos smugly assumes she won't kill him, thinking she shares Superman's morals. With a cold glare, Hawkgirl proves him wrong by dropping him to his death. Back in Metropolis, Superman bursts into Luthor Corp for a final showdown. While he confronts Luthor, Mr. Terrific hacks the mainframe and successfully seals the rift. Luthor, furious and unhinged, rants about orchestrating the entire conflict to eliminate Superman. But Clark responds with a heartfelt speech, declaring that he is human in the ways that matter most. Before Luthor can spiral further, Krypto lunges at him and tosses him around the room. The truth is now public, and the world watches as the once powerful tycoon stands defeated. Luthor is arrested and sent to Bel Rev. Meanwhile, Metamorpho is officially welcomed into the Justice Gang. The world reclaims its faith in Superman, now celebrated once more as a true symbol of hope.
He returns to Lois for a long-awaited interview, which ends with them sharing a passionate kiss. In a lighter moment, Jimmy and Eve start a relationship after she and the other prisoners are freed from the pocket dimension, marking a new beginning for everyone. Later, Superman returns to the Fortress of Solitude, where he shares a bond with one of the caretaker robots. He's soon visited by his cousin Jor-El, better known as Supergirl, who arrives to take Krypto home, revealing that the Superdog actually belongs to her. Exhausted, Superman lies back on the solar bed to recharge as the robots play heartwarming footage of his childhood with Ma and Pa Kent, reminding him of the love that shaped him. During the credits, Superman is seen overlooking the Earth from the moon while cuddling Krypto. After the credits, Superman and Mr. Terrific comment on the building as the city is being fixed up, with Superman noting that the building was put together unevenly, which annoys Terrific. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.